This is Chuck Grassley. I'm proud to join you today as a lifelong member of Pi Gamma Mu. I'm also a lifelong Iowan. For 41 years, I've represented my home state in the United States Senate. Young people like you, yourselves, often ask me, what got me interested in politics? From a very early age, I remember my family talking about current events in public affairs around meal times. We discuss kitchen table issues, taxes, crime, college tuition, and how public policy and foreign affairs affected our family, our neighbors, our family farm, and even our way of life. After I graduated from high school, I enrolled at the University of Northern Iowa. I can recall the excitement and the uncertainty when I headed off to college. Figuring out what you want to do with your life is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. I knew I wanted to help solve problems, the people's problems. That decision steered me towards the social sciences rather than, let's say, the health sciences. I can't say I set out knowing I would run for public office. However, I did know that I was drawn towards history, leadership, and service. And that's one of the reasons I was drawn to Pi Gamma Mu. I wanted to surround myself with like-minded student leaders and faculty advisors who would push me to achieve, lead, and succeed. Student members of Pi Gamma Mu wanted to make a difference, give back to our communities, and make the world a better place. Now, looking back, it's clear the political bug bit me very early. I put my name on the ballot to represent my neighbors at the State House while I was an undergraduate student, working a full-time night shift to pay for tuition. At age 23, I ran in a primary for the state legislature. I don't like to talk about it, but I lost that election. No one likes to lose. But I walked away with a good lesson from the school of hard knocks. Never get outworked. Never take any vote for granted. Listen to people with different points of view. Build coalitions to solve problems. It takes followers or you can't be a leader. Throughout my first campaign, I was in school and working the night shift. I went on to graduate from UNI with a bachelor's and master's degrees in political science. The following year, I attended the University of Iowa, where I started working towards a PhD in political science. And that's when opportunity knocked once more. My academic studies hit a fork in the road. I was called to make another run for the State House. I needed and I knew to throw myself into my campaign, this time whole hog. So I took a leave from my studies in Iowa City. As the saying goes, I've never looked back. On election day, I became the youngest member-elect of the Iowa House of Representatives. That victory launched 6 decades of putting political science into practice. By that, I mean direct grassroots engagement, listening to people's problems, figuring out how to help solve those problems, and bringing their ideas and concerns to the policy-making tables. I've been carrying out the mission of Pi Gamma Mu for these many years. Its true legislative sausage making gets a bit messy, as you know, and as you study when you're on Capitol Hill. When you've been in politics for as long as I have, thick skin helps weather the storms of partisanship. I would encourage members of Pi Gamma Mu to consider running for public office. From the local school board to city council, state legislatures, or Congress. Our system of self-government needs citizen leaders to answer the call to serve. Since I started serving in the United States Senate, technology has changed how we're able to communicate with our constituents. Being active on social media lets me communicate directly with Iowans. You can follow me on Twitter at Chuck Grassley to stay in the loop, or at Senator Chuck Grassley on Instagram. However, nothing can replace face-to-face dialogue. Just last month, I completed my 41st consecutive year. I want to emphasize that, my 41st consecutive year meeting with Iowans in each of our 99 counties. And I don't mean just driving through the counties, I mean actually having a Q&A with my constituents. At those county meetings, I can hear and see the emotions when parents talk about financial hardship to pay for insulin or EpiPens for their kids. Cattle farmers get fired up about getting paid pennies on the dollar compared to the price of that consumers pay for steak at the grocery store. In rural areas, Iowa families have trouble finding affordable daycare, access to health care, and high-speed internet services. Local businesses across the country are struggling with workforce shortages. Many have shortened hours, and it's limited their ability to grow and service their customers. Local law enforcement and civic leaders are working to address the opioid crisis. Drug trafficking and addiction have devastated too many families and destroyed too many futures. Conservation and sustainable sources of clean energy are important for our future. As the father of the wind energy tax credit, I'm proud that my state ranks first in the nation as a share of total electricity generation. Iowa produces more than 60% of its electricity from wind power last year. Championing these issues requires intellectual curiosity to dive into the details of public policy and a strong work ethic to tackle the climb. Results don't happen overnight. Ask yourself, how do you eat 10,000 marshmallows? Well, pretty simple, one at a time. Despite the challenges from the pandemic, I have great hope in America. It's uplifting to be able to talk with young leaders like the membership of Pi Gamma Mu. Your aspirations remind me of my own when I joined. One of the founding principles of our organization described our mission this way: to, quote, inspire social services to humanity, end of quote, and to solve problems through mutual understanding. Through leadership, scholarship, and service, we share a commitment to make a positive impact in society. Now, I want to applaud each of you for your commitment to your chapter, then in turn to your community, and then in turn to our country's future. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it very much.